stuff, but if you can find your space on the floor, and just if you need a little bit of pillow to support the back of your head, that's absolutely fine. Lengthen the spine out, have your feet up so you've got your knees pointing towards the ceiling, and just take a few moments just to let the breath settle in that position. So I'll just give you a few moments to let the breath settle in that position. If you're just joining on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, we are going to do a little bit of work on the floor to start off with. If you joined last Monday, we will have done this as well. You are just finding a position. If you need a little bit of pillow behind your head, put a pillow behind your head. You've got your feet in contact with the ground, and you're just lengthening your spine out, and just stay there just for a few moments, just to really let the floor take your weight, sink into the floor. Feel the feet, feel the soles of the feet connected to the ground. And move your feet around, just feel wherever is comfortable, where the hips feel comfortable, where the knees feel comfortable. Feel how the pelvis is connected to the ground, is touching to the ground. Maybe roll a little bit side to side. Do you feel more weight through one side to the other? Just connecting the pelvis to the ground. And then you'll notice in the spine, we have that little bit of space, the lower back, the lumbar spine. So you've got that subtle curve in the lumbar spine. And now just bringing your focus up to the upper spine, the middle back, the middle of the upper spine, the thoracic spine. And focusing on how that area is connecting to the ground. And I want you to follow just a few slow breaths, calm, slow, slightly fuller breaths, but keeping them very gentle in and out through the nose. Focusing on almost like pushing that upper back, the middle of the upper back, the thoracic spine, into the ground. Now, as always, with all of these sessions, we're not forcing anything, so I don't want any strain or pain, or if anything hurts, stop. We often focus on breathing into the belly in this position on the floor. I just want you to breathe and feel that part of the spine gently pushing into the floor. Just a few soft, easy breaths. Feel here how the shoulder blades maybe connect to the ground as well. And if you feel you need to move, do move. A few more breaths. Just focusing on that subtle movement of that upper back, the upper spine. And then just take a moment. Again, if you need to move around a little bit, need to lengthen that spine out a little bit, that's absolutely fine. If you need to wobble side to side a bit. Then we're going to bring the focus down to the pelvis. So this is where we're going to start to rock the pelvis forwards and backwards. So you're rocking now towards the tailbone, so you're tilting your pelvis and you're creating that little bit more space between the lumbar spine and the lower back. And then you're rolling the pelvis, so you're not flattening. I don't want you to force and think if you're flattening that lower back onto the ground. Don't want you to feel as if you're pulling the belly in, the belly button in or anything like that. I just want to get that roll through the pelvis. So just the pelvis rolling forwards and backwards. And just noticing what's happening with the rest of the spine. How the spine just follows the movement. What happens with the chin when you have the base of the skull just resting either on the cushion or on the floor. Feel how the spine responds to that pelvic tilt forwards and backwards. Let's find a steady rhythm. And you may already be doing this, but let's just breathe with the rhythm. So as you are rolling and tilting the pelvis forwards and you're creating that little bit more space in the lumbar spine, we'll take a gentle breath in. And then as you're rolling the pelvis back and you're creating less space and almost like flattening the lumbar spine out onto the mat, you take a breath out. And this is gentle breaths. We're not doing big breaths. We're not forcing the breath, and it's all calm in and out through the nose. Again, just let the spine follow the movement. Do 3 more. And then just take a moment, again, lengthen out a little bit if you need to. Find that sweet spot where your pelvis is just balanced, where you have that natural connection to the ground, you have that little bit of space in the lower back. Everything's relaxed in the hips. If you feel you want to, you can just lengthen your legs out for a moment or keep them in that standing position, whichever feels good. Just to, if you want to lengthen your legs out just to free up the hips a little bit more, do that for a moment. And then bring the feet back up to standing. If you need to watch me doing this next one before you do it, please feel free to do so. If you joined the class last Monday, we would have done this anyway. But what I'd like you to do is just bring the feet a little bit closer together so your feet are flat on the floor, knees pointing towards the ceiling. And then just bring the arms out to the side so they're about the height of the shoulders, and palms facing upwards. So you're rotating the shoulders out. Elbow pits are facing the ceiling, palms are facing the ceiling. And then let's cross your left leg over your right leg. So you have the back of your left knee crossed over the front, over your thigh, basically. And again, making sure there's no pain or anything hurts. We're just going to very gently let both of those knees just roll over to your right, and do this really slowly. And again, just let the spine follow. Now, it might happen that your head gently rolls to the left, and maybe you're looking left and up a little bit towards the back behind you. And then bring that leg back to center. And same thing going the other way. Roll. Go to the opposite side with the head. So we're going really slow, steady spine rotation. And then just going side to side. And what you might find is if you use your eyes as well to lead the movement, that's quite a nice way of doing it. So when you're bringing your knee back, lifting that leg back up, use the eyes to come back to the center to help bring that leg back. And just going very gently side to side. The benefits of doing this movement really slowly is that if anything hurts, you just stop. This is not about forcing anything. It's not about strain. It's not about pain. When you're ready, come back to the center. And we'll just swap over legs. So you put your left foot on the ground, bring your right leg over so you've got the back of the right knee over the thigh of the left leg. And same thing, just very gently going side to side. Slow, steady movements, easy breathing, just breathing with the movement. Just do a couple more. Steady, steady, steady. Noticing the spine, what's happening with the spine. Whether it feels different side to side, one way to the other way. And then when you're ready, coming back to balance in the middle, placing both feet on the ground. If you want to just bring your arms back to the sides, absolutely fine. And if you want to lengthen your legs out a little bit just for a moment, then please do so. And just letting the breath settle. And then take your time to come up to standing. We've been on the floor a little while, we've done some steady movement, you've done some nice breathing. So really just take your time just to come up to standing. You can maybe roll over to the side, whichever way you feel comfortable, coming back up to standing. No rush. When you get up to standing, let me just put my clock on so I can see the time. Give yourself a little bit of a shake out. Maybe shaking the shoulders a little bit, shaking the legs a little bit. And then taking your feet shoulder width apart. Let the breath settle. And just when you're ready, if you don't feel ready yet, take your time, but just going into some very gentle knocking. Feeling how you're moving from the hips and the waist, using the ground, and that spine is just following that movement. Just breathing gently, softly in and out through the nose. Let's use the arm that swings across the front of the body now. Create a little cup with the hand and come right into the shoulders. So you have to drive a little bit more now from the hips and the waist, from the ground. We're just coming right into the shoulders. Arm that swings across the front into a light fist, and we're tapping just below the collarbone, just on the pec muscles. Think about it as the tip of the lungs. Top of the lungs. And then just back to tapping across the belly, tapping into the back. Slowing down into water waves. And then just standing for a moment. Let's come hip width apart. Just evenly balanced, standing tall. Step back out. Spinal cord breathing. So we're doing that pelvic tilt, letting that upper body follow. Slightly different to how we usually do this. Rather than opening up the throat and looking up as we're coming back, just keeping that head forwards, almost like lengthening the back of the neck. You're feeling as if you're very slightly tucking the chin as well as we're coming back to this position. Then when we curl up, you can tuck the chin. So sorry, I did it wrong then. So you're doing there and then there. So rather than opening up the neck and looking back, You're just coming up to almost like staying to look forwards, but still lifting the chest, lifting the sternum, and tilting the pelvis. And breathing with this movement, breathing in as we expand here, breathing out as we contract. And then to finish this little bit of a movement, let's almost like do a big stretch, a big yawn, a big reach up, stretch out. Maybe have a little twist if you feel like you want a little bit of a twist. Maybe have a little bit of a lean back if you feel like you want a little bit of a lean back. If you want to do like a yawn, or if you want to do a nice big cleansing and clearing. And a shake out. Right, you're going to do some breath work or breathing exercises that are just going to give us that little bit more energy, where we're stimulating that sympathetic nervous system, because that's great for first thing in the morning to give us a little bit of an energy. And the first one is we're going to do some walking on the spot. We're going to do what we call a penguin walk. So actually with the penguin walk is you're stepping and you're bringing your hip and your shoulder forwards, and then you swap sides. So actually this is how you walk, but obviously when you're walking down the street, you're not doing this, hopefully, as I slip on the mat. But what you will do is you'll step, this bit will come forwards, and then you'll step through. So you can see actually it's the start of your step forwards. It's the start of that, what we call that contralateral rotation when you're walking naturally. So it's a good way of walking on the spot, this. So just stepping, 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 stepping. Now I want you to think of, again, leading with the hip. So actually you lead with the foot. The foot lands, hip comes forwards, the shoulder follows. So I'm not doing shoulder, 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 shoulder. So leading, lower body. And then just breathing easy. And we're going to do a breath hold here. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 3 steps. We'll start off with 3 steps. I'm just going to pinch my nose. You don't have to pinch your nose. You can just pause the breath. So we'll do normal breath in, normal breath out, and then pause, 2, 3, and then keep walking. And as I said at the very beginning, if you're pregnant, if you've got any blood pressure issues, cardiovascular issues, gentle pauses are okay, but if it starts to feel like strong breath holds, particularly because we're doing this little bit of movement, then you don't want to do anything that is actually boosting your cortisol levels, your adrenaline levels, and putting us into that, what we call that sympathetic drive. Let's do the 3 steps again. So normal breath in, normal breath out, and pause, 1, 2, 3, and then breathe. Let's speed up the rhythm a little bit. Suddenly you might feel, oh, my glutes are working. It's a great exercise. Let's do pause for 5. So 5 steps. Again, keep it comfortable. If it feels too challenging, you can stay with 3. So normal breath in, normal breath out. Pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then breathing easy. Let's do that again. So breath settles, normal breath in, normal breath out, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe. Let's do now, we'll stay with 5, but I'm going to count 10 steps in between. Let me just see what time it is because the clock has disappeared behind my calculator. There we go. I'm going to count 10 steps in between. So we'll do 5 pause, 10 recover, 5 pause, 10 recover, 5 pause, 10 recover. So let's start with a normal breath in, normal breath out, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then step 1, 2, 3, 4, breathing now, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, breath out and pause, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then slow it down, have a little bit of a shake out. It's a great exercise, just the penguin walk on its own. I can feel it that little bit in the hips there, because again, you'll start to work those glutes. And as I say, it's the natural movement pattern for walking. We step forwards, foot hits the ground, hip comes forward, shoulder rotates as we step through. So it's that contralateral movement. We're just doing the first part of it because we're not physically moving forward. So it's a good one to practice to get into the rhythm. Feet shoulder width apart, breathing in, breathing out. One more breath in. Breath out. Interlocking your thumbs, bringing your feet together. Just closing your eyes just for a moment for a little bit of bamboo in the wind. Just letting your body very gently rock and sway. And then taking a calm breath in. Giving yourself a little bit of a brush down. So we've done that little bit of movement through the rib cage and through the pelvis, through the rib cage, getting that spine, getting that idea of the spine following on from how we move at the pelvis. Nice little bit on the floor, then a little bit of activating, boosting the energy a little bit with those breath holds. But do remember, do not do any strong breath holds because if you're pregnant, etc., because it is actually stressing the system. But it's actually great first thing in the morning to get that energy going, to get that cortisol levels up, what you need first thing in the morning that helps you sustain the rest of the day. Brilliant. Sorry, we've gone over a little bit again there. You might notice I've got my Costa Brava t-shirt on. Watch out because I'm going to send you some emails this week. We're mixing it up slightly this year. We're going to do a walking option as well. We've decided to put that in because I've had so many people asking for a walking option to it. So we're going to do 2 days in Girona, 1 day on the coast. So a little bit more walking and a little bit more qigong on that. So watch out for that. I will send you some more information. We've gone way past 8:30 now. Go and get your coffee, go out and exercise, go to work. Thanks for joining and I'll see you on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.